What's up, guys? Silver Warrior here. Today I'm going to be making a video that I already know you guys are going to be crying about. It's going to be probably controversial. And not all of you are going to be doing it. Most of you guys will probably agree with the points if you're willing to actually listen to what I have to say instead of immediately assuming that I don't know what I'm talking about. Because trust me, when it comes to silver, I at least know a little bit. And I do know enough to understand when a scam is a scam, okay? And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about is how big silver companies scam you, okay? And it's not going to be like a BuzzFeed video, all right? It's not going to be like, 14 ways or something. It's just going to be kind of a video where I explain, how the big silver companies are basically almost robbing you. I mean, because really, when it comes down to it, there's a lot of lies that go into, keeping these billion dollar companies, and it really isn't fair to the common consumer who's just trying to get a little bit of silver, just trying to get a little bit ahead in life, to have to deal with that. I just really don't think it's a fair thing. Okay, now how exactly do they scam you? I mean, because certainly they there's things that go on where they have to make a profit and stuff, but that's not a scam. You're willing to pay that price, right? I mean, how is that? How is that a scam? You might be wondering. Overpaying for silver. Well, first of all, that's not all I'm talking about. And a major point I want to bring up right now is what happens when you get damaged goods. Okay, you see, many of these places have very poor customer service, and it's not an accident either. It's not like they have the poor customer service because they can't afford to keep it better. Because when your company's worth, several million or even more than that, you can afford to have good customer service. It's more like it's convenient for you to have the bad customer service, okay? Because if you're running a company, right, and 1% of the merchandise you send out, even, I mean, it's probably more than that, but let's just say 1% is either stolen or somehow turns up missing, you'd think, well, I can either have good customer service I have to pay more to have and get all that stuff returned, or I can just kind of make things, difficult, make it a difficult system to actually return anything and see anything back. And, let's say $500,000 worth of goods every year that ends up being lost, and we'll just, forget about it. And trust me, I'm not saying every big silver company is like this because they're not. JM Bullion is an example of a company that's very good. Everyone who's ever had to return anything that I know has said that it went very well. And people have gotten damaged goods or just had missing things from them. That's just a thing that happens. And I'm not blaming anybody for that. But when it comes down to, you not being able to do anything when it's convenient for you, not responding when it's convenient, then I really do think that's a scam. I think if you are, ignoring basically your customers and allowing them to never receive their goods or get damaged goods, which, by the way, is quite possibly your fault because you can't prove that that happened in the mail, that the good was damaged, then that's a problem. I mean, it really is. It's not like if something's stolen or a package never arrives and you send out a tracking number and it just shows that, that's one thing. That's on the post office. And if they didn't get it insured, then I guess I could understand where maybe you'd be like, I'm not going to refund that. But if something's damaged or something like that and you're sending it out, it gets damaged somehow by you, or maybe not by you, but there's nothing to say that the post office did it either, then you are kind of responsible for that, I think. And a lot of times these big companies will simply just ignore you and they ignore their customers, and it's just a big problem, I think, because when you get down to it, I mean, most of the people buying from these companies aren't like rich people, okay? It's not like rich people are just losing money they can afford to lose. This is, common everyday person just trying to get a little bit ahead in life. And some people with families, people who have jobs, just normal jobs, and who do have families to support and everything, are just trying to spend a little bit of money on silver because they're starting to realize, they're starting to wake up to what's going on in the U.S. economy. And then you're just going to go and basically say, you know what, screw you, I really don't care, okay? I really don't care that something went wrong and you didn't receive your product or whatever, and now you're out, $400 maybe, I mean, or $500. Silver's not cheap. It really isn't. If to get a decent amount of it, and people will spend a couple $100, maybe just get a 10-ounce bar or something. That's, that's almost $200 right there, gone if the piece never shows up. And with generic silver, the whole damage thing is not really a big issue, but higher premium coins, that can become an issue. Cases being cracked when they're not sold as being cracked, that means you damaged it along the way, and that automatically reduces some of the value. And maybe you're not investing, maybe you're trying to flip, but that's still, if a person buys something, they can sell it to whoever they want. That's their right, even if they're making money off of it. And if you're selling them something that's damaged, they're going to end up having to take a loss, then that's on you, because you're the one that sold it to them, promising them something else. And that's the next thing, is that a lot of times they're very impersonal with their listings, I feel like. And that's just something that kind of goes along with the whole damaged goods. But like, a listing will just be for like, let's say it'll be, okay, here's a great example of a great scam. You're looking at a lot of, not a lot, but some, Kennedy half dollars and Franklin's stuff. So let's say they're saying, all right, let's see, is this 10? No, of course not, it's 9. Okay, so let's say it was like 10 Kennedy half dollars, all right? You're buying a half roll of 90% Kennedy half dollars, and then they'll take a picture like this, and they'll take a picture, and it wouldn't be over to somebody's hand, but it would just be a picture of them all laid out, and of course there's a Franklin in there. But it'd be a picture of them just all laid out, right? And they look really good in the picture. And then when the ones you get show up, or they'll take a picture if it's a bigger lot, like in a bag or something like that. And then when you actually get them, unless they're promised to be BU or something, if they say AU, a lot of times they're not. You'll get the coins, and you'll notice, I don't really have any coins in here that look very bad, except for this one, that when you saw coins that look like this, right, and have a lot of good detail, you're getting coins like this, and obviously it's a different denomination, but point being, this coin's very, very slick, as you can see here. Alright, and look, the rim's gone on both sides. It's not worth anything. This thing is maybe worth a tiny bit over melt if on a good day. And look at how slick that is, right? They'll send you out coins like that when you're buying lots, and they'll overcharge you for them. They'll still charge you, 1.2, 1.3, like, a little decent amount over melt value, right? Like, let's say right now, I think melt's around 1838, which an ounce, I think, and I want to say it's about 13.5 times face. So let's say right now they charge you like 15 times face. Maybe it's not 13.5. I think that's too much. But they would charge you, a couple more times over face than what it's worth melt. And you're going to be getting coins that aren't even worth that melt because they're missing, 5% of the silver that used to be there. Because not all of the coating is copper. Once you get down a little bit through it, it starts to be silver that you're losing now. And just weight in the coin in general, and automatically, if you try to sell the coins like that, people are just going to be like, well, there's less silver, okay? It's like selling hold coins, right? Basically, what it comes down to, that weight loss you're going to have to deal with if you're ever trying to sell it. And you just have less silver now because the companies are sending you coins that you can't even decipher. And if they're charging you a premium because they're older coins, and then you can't even tell what they are anymore, it doesn't matter. If they're older coins, it doesn't matter what they are because there's no dates on them anymore. They're all slicked up. All you can tell is what type of coin they used to be. And that's really not fair at all. But a lot of these companies, they'll sell you these coins, and you'll notice that especially the older ones barely are even passable or recognizable of what they used to be. And it's just ridiculous because they can afford to send you coins that are in nicer shape, but it's just like, you see a picture even, and the coins look nice in that picture, but that's not what your coins are going to look like. And it's just really very impersonal. It's like they take a picture of some nice looking coins and send you ones that are, half as good as the ones you saw a picture of. And so you never know what you're going to be getting with these big companies. And speaking of those coins, they rip you off all the time with those junk silver lots because they charge you, basically they charge you AU prices for, not even VF, like, probably F graded coins, honestly. And it is kind of ridiculous, but at the end of the day, I mean, you know what you're buying when it comes to the fact that you're paying, what you're paying, basically. It's just, when the coins are promised to be in a certain shape, not even promised, but like pictured in a certain shape, and then you get coins that look a lot different, that's when the scam, I think, kind of comes in to play. And that's just a big, big scam that they all love to pull on people. And another one is just overall just charging way too high of prices on like certain like key date coins or just higher, nicer graded coins. Those the amount of money that they expect to get out of those is honestly ridiculous. Like when you see someone selling like let's say like a 1909 wheat penny, not 1909 VDB S or 1909 S, just 1909 VDB wheat penny raw. They try to sell it for like $100, and they're like, yeah, it's a key date coin. It's like that type of thing because the amount of like money that they try to make on those coins is absolutely ridiculous. We're not talking about $1 million coins here where the difference of 10,000 is nothing. We're talking about coins. I'm talking about coins worth maybe a couple $100 that they probably paid $50 for, and you could pay maybe not $50 for. You could be paying $100 if you found a good seller, or $200 from a big company. And maybe that's not a scam because you know what you're paying for. So it's not really a scam, which is why I didn't really want to include that much. But it is kind of just ludicrous and just something to watch out for. And just the deals and stuff that they run in general are meant to get you. A lot of these people have experts and stuff backing them that promise higher prices. Those people are all scam artists too. Either way, though, I do hope this video helped you out. Not saying every big company is bad, and I understand I'm going to get a lot of hate, but at the end of the day, you guys need, I think, to be informed if you don't already know that buying from big companies is not the way to go when it comes to, especially junk silver or just higher premium coins. Unless you're buying generic silver rounds and bars, which are generally a good price, everything else is kind of just a ripoff. And I just recommend finding the right people, whether it's in your own community or going on Instagram or just Facebook, wherever, maybe even through YouTube. And of course, with that, there's also the associated risks, which maybe I'll make in a video later on talking about all the risks that are associated with buying and selling through, all those social media websites, because that's way more risky than buying through a big company in terms of just having to deal with scam artists. But either way, I really, like I said, do hope that you enjoyed the video. And that is it for this one. Peace, love, and much respect.